Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah. Inshallah, we'll take a few questions. Nothing too long, nothing too industrious. Inshallah. Are there any more questions from the brothers here?
What are you saying? I did.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Barakallahu feek. And don't forget, as we always remind you, brothers, about our courses coming up, inshallah, and the previously done courses that you can access, the previous lectures, previous workshops, previous 12-week, 16-week courses. And one of the courses that's coming up in the United Ta'ala that I'm personally excited about is Ulum al-Quran, Quran sciences. All the different questions that you've always had over the years, the recitations, why is Ibn Kathir so popular and famous, or as a revert to Islam or a convert, whatever terminology you use. No diss to John the Baptist, if you're watching or if you're out there, okay? Different questions that you may have had as a non-Muslim and as a Muslim with regards to how Christian scholars interpret the texts and why they're different, or so many different schisms and sects of Christianity. Baptists, evangelists, the offshoots, Jehovah's Witnesses, etc., 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 etc. Right? Why do they differ on so much on interpreting the text? And to what extent is a learned Christian scholar or preacher or pastor, etc., allowed to interpret it? And what are some of the lines between interpretation and warping and twisting? And how it led there not being the line, or the line is very thin and very weak, to the misguidance of the Nasara. And how that very same thing that the Prophet ﷺ feared upon his ummah, to many people has happened, in which there's not an interpretation or an acceptable interpretation, or it's tahrif, distortion of the Quran. Allah says a thing, Allah intends a thing, Allah clearly, explicitly mandates a thing. And then I or you come along and say, oh no, it really doesn't mean that. It really means this. And the sad part about this is that oftentimes this takes place because of comfortable living. Alright? It's extremely foul. This verse doesn't mean this in the Quran, because if it did, it would mean that the Muslims in America can't live comfortably anymore. That's exactly what has happened. Not the Muslims have to adjust to the Quran, sacrifice and relinquish, renounce. Or for argument's sake, the Muslims in America and other parts of the world may be stuck between a rock and a hard place. The governments overseas, the collapse of this, the fall of this, no problem. But the Quranic mandate is what? What it is. No. That's not what the modern, progressive, mainstream, commercial, learned people, without mentioning no names or people, etc. That's not what they say. The Quran now has a new tafsir in order to go in accordance with comfortable American lifestyle. That can't mean that. Because that means the Muslims wouldn't be able to have this. And my daughter's in college. And my son's graduated from here. And I own stores. I have money that I make. I have a house. I bought houses. I have real estate. What do you mean I can't do this? What do you mean I can't be friends with them? What do you mean I have to fight? What do you mean such and such is permissible? What do you mean I have to speak out against this? What do you mean I can't pay such and such? What do you mean? What do you mean? That would be a major hardship. So it's a huge, huge problem with regards to the rules of tafsir. And of course, it's not just on tafsir, nor is it on tafsir, but tafsir is a big chunk of ulum al-Quran. And that's a benefit for the Muslim internally, and with regards to externally, with regards to how to pinpoint the errors and the mistakes and the flaws of the previous nations and why they went astray. and how the Prophet ﷺ was one of the most dangerous things that he feared upon us was imitating them, taking their holy men as lords, as gods, making the halal haram and vice versa, right? So inshallah, make sure you check it out. There are other courses that we have publicized as well. The one that I'm looking forward to and really excited about is on Ulum al-Quran. And you can find it on HadithDisciple shop.com. How to sign up for it. It's an exclusive course. Alright, khair inshallah. That's enough of that. Are there any questions? See if we have on Instagram. AW from Ontario, Canada. What's the ruling for wearing pants that get tight when bending for sujood? You should not pray like that. Carry a thobe or a khamis or an izar, a towel, wrap something around your waist when you pray. If you can't, you're out in public, etc., then just because there's a place or a time which is some snugness to your pants or clothes, that doesn't mean that your prayer is invalidated. Whereas your whole entire garment is just skin tight all of the time, showing all of your figure, your body, etc., etc. So you should avoid that. There's no doubt about that. And if you're going to wear pants, all right, wear a long shirt. Okay? If you tuck in your shirt, untuck your shirt for salah. Or it takes 5 minutes, literally, just put on an izar. A robe, quick, simple. A longer suit jacket, etc. All right? And obviously wearing tight clothes, extremely fitted clothes, that's a long discussion. Even if you don't wear a thobe every day. You don't have to wear a thobe. There's no hadith stating that you have to wear a thobe. You have to wear a shalwar kameez. You don't have to. A Yemeni izar or Indonesian or Malaysian izar. You don't have to. But you can't wear skin tight stuff. You're not supposed to, be, it's not cool. And Allah knows best. Right, Mufti, would you ever visit New Zealand? I would love to go to New Zealand. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. If and when Allah makes that possible, I would love to go. F.A. Detroit, Michigan. How can I avoid getting into street fights? I live in Detroit. Sometimes it's like that, man. You make sure, inshallah, as we gave you the golden qaida, is to try your best to avoid, try your best to warn, try your best to diffuse, put out the fire. And if there's no choice, your back is against the wall, bismillah, you hold your own. Inshallah, that's right, yeah. And if you gotta defend your honor or your property or Islam or a Muslim sister or somebody, a weak non-Muslim that's getting beat up, you do what you gotta do. Inshallah. And use force based off of need and necessity. Never use excessive force. You gotta knock them out in what? Right hook to the chin. Knee, headbutt, elbow, whatever your fighting style may be. Whatever, your fighting style may be. Brothers, and you can headbutt a lot. Right? It's not really the American style. Uppercut, whatever may body slam. Brother once tried to body slam me once. I ain't gonna mention his name though. Yeah, Steve, that's a fact. You know who I'm talking about. He's sitting right in this masjid. Think about Gaia. You know what I mean? Right, any other questions, Abdul?
Initial HA, I'm from Canada. What's the relationship between the stepfather and the stepdaughter? Is he her wali even if her biological father is alive? And is he her mahram even if he forces her mother?
Relationship between stepmother or stepfather and stepdaughter. Is he her wali even the biological father is alive? Is he the mahram for the girl, etc., etc., etc.? In general, in their picture perfect world, the stepfather and the stepdaughter should have a relationship. It don't have to be a perfect relationship like actual blood daughter, but it should be a good relationship. Speaking, talking, laughing. You should give them things. They should show love, affection, and respect to him. That's how things should be. But oftentimes it's not like that. A child may have spite that the mother married a new man. You're not my dad. They'll tell you that. Or say it indirectly through their behavior. Yo, you are not my dad. Don't think that you are. Don't think that I'm head over heels like my mom is. She's a fool. Rushing into a new marriage. I ain't going for it. You are not what? Abby. Period. And I'm not going to show you no love and respect. And that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. And it's even more unfortunate, like many, many children in different countries in which the father is not even in the picture. Father, whether he cares or whether he doesn't care, but he's not in the picture. And the stepson or stepdaughter loses out on the opportunity of having a male figure in their lives. That's a problem. So the husband, the stepfather, he has to work to be kind, to be gentle, not to be too judgmental, not to rush to change things overnight. Every single thing is haram in the household. Captain Crunch is haram. Fruit Loops is haram. Apple Jacks has this haram in it. You can't drink Mountain Dew. You can't have no more gummy bears. Go to sleep on time, wake up like this. Gradual, progressive. Take it easy, right? And it's one of the worst mistakes in politics. That's a well-known thing in history. Is when a new sheriff is in town, new laws are made, yes. But you don't change every law, what? Overnight. You don't make a drastic, dramatic reform overnight like that. People, they can't take it. And oftentimes they will rebel. All right? So gradual. Certain things you got to change. No doubt. I'm sorry. Your ex-husband used to allow that? I'm sorry. Not on my watch. This is haram. It's an abomination. That got to go. Break it. Throw it out. Pour it out. I'm sorry. You can't do it. But not every single issue, every single thing. So the stepfather should be gentle. He should be kind. He should be merciful. He should be friendly. He should be affectionate. And at the same time, he shouldn't be overpowering, pushing himself on the stepdaughter too much. All right? And the stepdaughter has a responsibility of respecting him, regardless whether he's her father or not. It's my mother's husband. He's in the household. He's paying the bills. He's the man of the house. He deserves respect. Basic respect, and on a larger level. One manifestation of disrespect is not to speak to him. Just walk right past him. Very disrespectful. Or he says, no, don't do this, and they do it anyway. Or talking bad about him. Or disrespecting his property. Or anything else which is disrespectful. And obviously, no relationship will work without the will to try it out. So, stepfather comes, the stepdaughter has to also come. You get what I'm trying to say? I bought you a gift. I gave you a car. You have to try. We're taking everybody out to the movies. Well, I'm not saying what, go to the movies, right? You get the point I'm trying to make. Stuff that people do with their children and their stepchildren, and let alone the fact you ain't keeping it real, right? You know you got what, and all other types of stuff on the Mandalorian and the Irishman and what, all other types of stuff, right? You know, anyhow, you get the point I'm trying to make, right? Tawheed? Huh? So the point of the moral of the story is that it takes two hands to what? Clap. He has to try to be there for her. She has to try to accept that with the necessary barriers. It is a woman, it is a girl. Shaitan can whisper, and that's not your blood daughter, etc. Is he the wali? Can he be the wali if the biological father is alive? If the biological father is Muslim, righteous, if he's a good wali, if he's on the scene, then he should not be the wali. He should stay out of it. Don't interfere. If the father asks for help, or the father says, she's living in your house now, you're better than me, or I'm caught up, go ahead, marry her off, alhamdulillah. But if the father's taking care of business, he should not interfere. Keep your mouth shut. Don't get involved. Fitna will happen. You say something to your wife, I don't think it's a good da-da-da. Next thing you know, goes back to the father. Oh, you're trying to take over my daughter too. You stole my wife from me, right? Now you're stealing my daughter from me. MashaAllah, blah, 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 etc. So be careful of the plots of shaitan, right? If the biological father's not around, he's not Muslim, he's not righteous, he's not doing a good job, he can and should be the wali. If he divorces the mother or the stepdaughter's mahrams for him, etc., he cannot marry them after he has consummated the marriage with their mother. He cannot marry them perpetually. Khalas. They are mahrams for him. They can never ever get married even after the divorce, as long as what happened to that? Wallahu a'lam. Question comes from Manchester, and this was AG. Is it correct to say the first 10 nights of Dhul Hijjah are better than any nights in the year, excluding Laylatul Qadr? It's best days to do righteous deeds, what the Prophet ﷺ tells us. And Allah knows best. Next question. Credit cards? It's like the ruling on anything else in our modern world. Allah's help is sought. Further, next question.
What does the Hanbali madhab say you have? What does the Hanbali madhab say you have to say the Messenger before the Lord?
I'm not an expert on the Hanbali madhab. That's first and foremost. the majority of the ulama hold the view that there are recommended acts in wudu, and one of them is the tasmiyah, saying Bismillah. Many, there are different mutun in which at-tasmiyatu ma'a-dhikr, that you must say Bismillah if you remember. Some ulama, many ulama, they hold that view, is that saying Bismillah is mandatory if you remember. If you don't remember, then it's no longer mandatory or a condition. What's important is you should say Bismillah. You should say Bismillah. It's a good thing to do. The hadiths regarding saying Bismillah are all inauthentic. None of them are sahih. All da'if. And Allah knows best.
Is it sunnah for women to make offers for the mahar, or should men make the offers?
Is it sunnah for a woman to make an offer for the mahar, or should the groom offer? It depends on the culture. Depends on the culture. You know? I mean, from one aspect, it's best to counterpunch. You learn a lot from what someone offers you. Right? Sometimes you won't even get involved with a person after they make an offer. So you say, Mufti, I want you to come to my city and my state. It's a 6-hour flight, blah, 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 blah. I want you to do class on this day, class on that day, conference, da, 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 da. And we're offering, inshallah, Bismillah, we want to give you $300 for your time to compensate you, your plane, etc. You can stay in your brother's basement, blah, 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 blah. If that's what the brothers are offering, it's no point in what? Furthering the conversation with him. There's no point in even saying, no, that's not enough. I can't even eat with that money. That's not enough cab fare. I can't pack my suitcases. Suitcases cost $25 in the airport. That's $50 alone. Let alone this, that. There's no point in even talking with that person. So if the lady, the sister says, what would you like to offer? He says, I don't know. She says, offer. He says, I don't know. I'll give you $100. And she's thinking thousands, gold. His mindset is what? Not the mindset that she's looking for. Period. There's no point in bargaining with a cheapskate. That's a golden qaida of life. You're wasting your time. Period. Right or wrong? Would you agree with this? You know what I mean? It don't mean that you gotta be gold digger, but somebody that's cheap or whatever, it's no point. You're wasting your time. Their standard of living is not yours. So that's one benefit of the what? Letting him go first. Playing black in chess. Let the white move first. Don't take the queen's gambit. You go first. You counter, right? And another aspect, another benefit of the opposite, you going first, is that sometimes you may not get a chance to counter punch. The initial strike may be so devastating, what? Collapse. You have to strike first, right? What do you say? Strike first, strike hard, and show them what?
No mercy.
No mercy. There's 3 rules with Cobra what? Cobra Kai, right? Strike first, strike hard, and what? In other words, because the opponent may strike first, may strike hard, and what? They destroyed your aircraft on the ground. There never was a chance for you to even take them in the air and have a dog fight. They wiped them out on the runway. So sometimes you have to strike first to lay down the law. This is what I expect. This is what I want for a mahar. If you can provide it, alhamdulillah. And if not, enjoy the tea and the baklava, inshallah, and peace. Wallahu a'lam.
Initials RA, Edmonton, Canada, I think. Good careers for making hijrah.
A good career for making hijrah. This will be our last question tonight. I mean, that depends on the person in the country, right? Some places you want to make hijrah to, the best opportunity you get is to teach English. I'll give you a brief story which shows you the importance of understanding economics and politics and race and culture when it comes to the Islamic rulings. Some years ago, a brother, good brother, he came from Chester, Pennsylvania, which is on the outskirts of Philly, a small town. He came to make Umrah, him and his wife. So we met up with him, we took them around, etc., etc. This sheikh had a talk, we ate here, we bought over garments, bought thobes, blah, 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 blah. So he was driving around Medina, traveling, and he fell in love with Medina. The people, the masjid, the barakah, it's nothing but Muslims. There's so many different scholars you can visit, ask questions. It's beautiful. I'm going to go back home to America. So he said, I don't want to go back home. I want to stay here at Mufti. I want to live here. I want to make hijrah. I'm a top-notch electrician in America. I'm a head of the union, blah, 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 blah. Can you talk to somebody that you know, one of your professors, one of your neighbors, and get me over here? So I had to tell the brother and break the bad, heartbreaking news to him, like, listen, Afi, in America, you're an electrician, you make good money. Dental plans, health plans, vacation, sick days, union, retirement, pension, etc., etc. Boilers, right? I said, but over here, overseas, an electrician may be what? An extremely lowly job. And you coming from America, regardless of your skin color or how thick your nose is or how thin your lips are or whatever, what you look like, you got a blue passport, there's certain jobs they're not even going to allow you to take. Period. An American wanting to be an electrician? No. So thinking that you can do any trade that you do in America successfully overseas is fantasy. I will never forget the time, first time I saw the man on a wooden scaffold, not the metal ones, wood and rope, with a major power tool, drilling into marble, wearing sandals. Some bathroom ship sandals, not no fancy sandals. So I'm talking like the blue and white ones with the real thin, high up, stories up, working in a hotel. My mouth was like, whoa, subhanAllah. In America, guy would have steel-toe boots, helmet, harness, this, that, this orange thing, this yellow thing. It's not like that overseas. So going to another country, second world, third world, whatever type of world country, oftentimes there aren't but so many career options that you have. You work as a bread maker, as a plumber. In America, it's a good job. Good job. People always need plumbing. Overseas, that job is what? The lowest of the low. So, it's unfortunate. So with regards to making hijrah, you have to be realistic. And sometimes there are only a few things that you can make. What's important is if you want to make hijrah sincerely for Allah, and you take the necessary steps, and you're willing to make the necessary sacrifice, is the key word, you'll find a place to make hijrah. And you'll find a way to make money with the sacrifices. Allah surely knows best. Alhamdulillah.